All right. This is the One Piece feels tier list. Let's get right into it. Okay. Obviously, One Piece is one of those anime slash manga that is kind of a tier above compared to a lot of other uh, mangas when it comes to emotional moments and evoking emotion in the reader. So, we're going to go over a bunch of the best emotional moments in One Piece, whether that's making you sad, making you happy, making you angry. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get right into it and rank these moments. And we got peak fiction, Emperor. Now we talking solid and bad. And let's start off with we start off with a banger, the banger, really, if you think about it. This is the moment in the anime. You're gonna see this about 20 billion times. Now the question is it good enough to start off in peak fiction? And I wanna say yes. I think I'm gonna say yes. Because again, this is the moment that honestly most people think of when they think of One Piece in general. You know what I'm saying? This is the one that started it all off. Shanks sacrificing his arm for Luffy for the next generation. And this moment is just gonna come full circle at the end of the story. It's coming full circle right now, to be quite honest, but it's only gonna get better as time goes on. Next up, we got Kuina and what's my man's name? Zoro, obviously. Next up, we got Kuina and Zoro. And honestly, with this one right here, it's not like anything too crazy as far as this specific tier list goes. Uh Zoro's backstory, without too much spoilers, because I am about to do a backstory tier list up next. Without too much spoilers, I gotta say Zoro's backstory is not one of the best. But this is the moment where he spars with Kuina, and then he says he's gonna be the world's greatest swordsman because she believes she can't be or whatever. And honestly, this is just solid. This is a perfect solid right here. That we just gonna drop right there. Next up, we got Usopp and his sick mother. Again, of the Straw Hat backstories, this is not one of the best ones, but it is a little bit more emotional than this one, I would say, because Usopp's mother is not doing too hot right here. But it's another solid. Next up, we got Zoro. Next up, we got Zeph and Sanji. And this one right here is probably the best of the East Blue. Well, maybe not the best. One of the best of the East Blue backstories that we get. And, this sets it off good with Zeph's sacrifice, letting Sanji eat all the food, making it seem like he had more food, but it's really just treasure, and ended up eating his own leg, basically. But even if Sanji never ended up getting a second backstory, this one was very good. I don't know if I'm going to put it quite up here, but it's definitely a tier above these two right here. So continuing on, oh, now we got a classic Zoro moment right here. And this is Zoro saying that he's gonna be the pirate, not the pirate king. This is Zoro saying that he's gonna be the world's greatest swordsman, and that asking Luffy, aka the Pirate King, if he has a problem with that, saying he's never gonna lose again after he got his butt kind of handed to him by Mihawk. You know what I'm saying? Uh, is it peak fiction for Zoro? Low key, yes, but there are some other Zoro moments that are gonna be even better than this one later on. But shoot, yeah, it could be at the bottom of peak fiction, or it could be at the top of Emperor. I'm gonna leave it at the top of Emperor for now, and then we're gonna see a little bit later when I round this out a little bit more. Next up, we got damn. This is a one of the emotional highs of the East Blue Saga, especially uh the Arlong Park arc in general. It's crazy. This is the part where Arlong blasts Belmare, Nami and Nojiko's mother, adoptive mother. And I'm not putting it above Zoro, but it's definitely in the Emperor tier because this is one of those moments this is one of the first real, oh snap moments in One Piece. And that was a good backstory, but I'm gonna do the backstory tier list next, maybe later this week. I can grab this. There we go. Okay, now, oh my god. This is the moment that if you telling somebody to watch One Piece or to read it or whatever, this is the moment that you know if you're a One Piece fan or not. Because Nami, she goes through everything. Eventually, she finally reaches the point where she realizes she's never going to be able to, or Arlong's not going to keep up his part of the bargain. And she needs Luffy's help to just take him out. And Luffy's like, of course I will. And he puts the straw hat on her, and it's like, yo. Luffy doesn't put the straw hat on very many people, and this moment right here is peak fiction. Okay. I'm not trying to put too much up here in the peak fiction tier, but this is one of those. This is the moment of the East Blue Saga, in my opinion. Outside of this one, so yeah, it's got to be there. Next up, we got uh the good doctor. His name is Hiraluk. That's what it is, Hiraluk. And basically, this is after he got the mushroom from Chopper, I believe. And yeah, a lot of people really love the Drum Island arc and Chopper's backstory specifically, but I just don't know if it's better than what we got up here. So I'm gonna put it at Now We're Talking because I think it's above these two, but I think I'm gonna have it below Sanji's original backstory. Next up, we got Chopper. Chopper not being able to play any reindeer games with the other reindeer on Drum Island, and this is actually kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. It's like boohoo, Chopper. They didn't like you. But it doesn't evoke any crazy emotion into me, and I kind of had to squint to see what this moment was. So it's not bad, It's not bad. But I think that both of these hold some stronger value and meaning, in my opinion. Next up, we got Luffy climbing up that mountain with Sanji and Nami on Drum Island. And this is a great freaking moment in the Drum Island arc. One of my favorite moments and one of the more memorable moments in this early section of the One Piece story. So it's not better than the Zoro moment. And I'm hard pressed to put it above Arlong blasting Belmere in the face also. But this is probably one of the higher emotional moments of Drum Island. Is it higher than this one? Did I also go too far? No, I didn't. All right, now we got the cherry blossoms going off at the end of Drum Island, and it's cool. It brings the full story like full circle. It brings the story full circle. Oh my god, I have an aneurysm. But as far as like the super great moments of One Piece, is this like super top tier for me? Not exactly, but I think it's definitely into that Now We're Talking tier. Okay, next up we got the Straw Hats giving their final farewell to Vivi on Alabasta. And you see, this is where it's starting to get hard because we're getting like different types of moments right now. We got the emotional, damn, Arlong blasted this mother figure for Nami in the face. We got the emotional moment of Zoro and Luffy having that moment where Zoro's like, I'm gonna never lose again, and putting his conviction on the table after taking that L. And we got the emotional send off after such a long freaking arc, the biggest arc and saga that we had in the series up until that point. I think right where I have it right now is perfectly fine. I don't think it's gonna get up into peak fiction with these two moments because these are like defining moments of the series in my opinion. And this is just like a good bookend, a great bookend to that saga and arc. Okay, we got Nolan and Calgara coming together at the end of the that flashback, and it's cool. It's interesting seeing how their relationship changes by the end of the flashback, but it's nothing too crazy, I would say. Is it Now We're Talking? I'm gonna put it at the top of solid for now, and I might move it up later. All right, we got a badass moment here of Sanji where he doesn't do anything to Enel really, but he takes the energy blast, the lightning blast, so that Nami and Usopp can escape, and it's pretty badass here. I really do like this moment a lot, but I don't think I could put it above either of these two right here. Am I putting it above Arlong blasting Belmer? Yeah, I think I am. I think I am because this is like an iconic Sanji moment right here. So, and me just looking at it, it gives me that feeling that I had when I watched it the first time. So that's gonna play a good part in how I rank these. If I look at the picture of it and I'm immediately brought back to that moment, that's literally the feels that I'm talking about. So next up, we got the argument. Or is it just the argument? This is the whole Luffy versus Usopp fiasco. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming this is the argument that they had all the buildup that goes into that, as well as them actually having their duel. And I can't lie, bro. This is peak fiction right here. Usopp versus Luffy is Oda at his best, in my opinion, because they both have reasons for why they feel the way that they do, and it's just it's really Usopp being hard headed at the end of the day to a certain extent, but I don't know if he's reached these emotional highs with Luffy and another Straw Hat since that point, to be quite honest. But I guess we'll see as we keep going. All right, we got um I guess this is Usopp and Frankie yapping it up before Frankie gets on the sea train, I guess. I'm gonna put this. I'm putting this at the bottom because I don't really know what emotion I'm supposed to be taking from this moment really off top. If you do, drop it in the chat real quick because I'm not really sure. And okay, we got Frankie from his backstory where he tries to jump in front of the sea train and stop his father figure from being taken off to impel down or Annie's lobby to Annie's lobby. And honestly, I think this is better than these backstories that we got here. And I think it's above the moment with Luffy doing this. So I might drop this down to the top and now we're talking and drop it and put this at the bottom of this tier in Emperor. So yeah. Yeah, man. I should change the name of this from Emperor to something else, right? uh I'm just gonna say amazing. But maybe when I look at these later, I'll decide on something else. But yeah, I think I don't know if I'm putting Frankie above Belmere, so I'm gonna leave that right there. Next up, we got Nico Olvia and Robin. And Robin, instead of keeping her cover, basically she reveals the fact that she's Nico Olvia's daughter, running up and hugging her right before she gets shot. Right? Okay. No, yeah, they didn't put a separate one for her getting shot, so I'm gonna guess that that's encompassed in this moment. Man, is it above Belmare? I'm gonna put it right above Belmare getting shot by Arlong. This was a crazy moment because in the moment you want to be like Nico Robin, don't run up to her because then it's gonna be revealed that you know more, or the fact that it's just gonna put you in the crosshairs basically. And Nico's Olvia, she can't help but hug her in this moment, and then right after that she gets blasted by Spandam's dad, Spandon. So that's unfortunate, bro. That's unfortunate. Is it better than this badass Sanji moment? I'm gonna say no. Let's keep going though. I want to live. I ain't got to say too much. This is peak fiction. Okay, so with this, where am I putting this? Actually, I think this is the best moment of these so far. I think, but I think that this should go here. This is a real question right here. Is Luffy putting the hat on Nami better than Usopp versus Luffy? That's a tough one in my opinion. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go with this for now, and then I'll see if I change my mind later. What is this? Let's say that this. Oh, okay. This is Usopp and Luffy making up at the end of the post Enies Lobby arc, and this is kind of an emotional moment, but I feel like this moment is a little bit overrated, but I don't think it's on the level of those other ones. And memorable as far as being memorable, it is somewhat memorable. You think of that when you think of the end of this arc and the saga in general. But is it more emotional than, or does it evoke more emotion than the stuff with Hero Look? I would say no. Even though I feel like it should. Maybe I'm underrating this moment. You can let me know. Next up, we got the Going Merry, its funeral, I guess. And this is very close to being peak fiction. I honestly probably should put it up here, right? But me being biased, I guess, I never felt like crazy emotional in this moment. I know a lot of other people did. Some people actually cried watching this, which is a little bit surprising to me. But, I'm honestly going to leave it in the amazing tier for me personally. Let me know if I'm bugging and this should be at the top or whatever. But yeah, I'm putting it below. Am I putting it below this? No, I'm not putting it below the Alabasta send off or Sanji's badass moment. So it is gonna go below Zoro. And Zoro, I'm very tempted to just move this up to peak fiction. I can't lie. I'm very tempted to move this up to peak fiction. Let me know if I'm bugging. And Zoro's saying he's never gonna lose again should be in peak fiction. Oh well, never mind, because now we get into the real peak fiction. Are you kidding me? Nothing happened. Nothing needs to be said either. The real question is, how high am I putting it? How high am I putting it? How high am I putting it? No, but I don't know. I don't know if it's better than the I Want to Live or Shanks sacrificing his arm at the beginning of the story. Stuff. I reserve the right to move this all the way up to the fucking top at the end of this tier list, okay? But for now, I'm gonna put it right here. Yeah. All right, so we got Brooke. I guess this is just Brooke's entire backstory here, because there's no other ones here. His backstory is very sad. I don't know how high I'm personally putting it. I think I'll put it about here. His backstory is sad. He loses all the people. He finds his body again, etc., etc. Again, I'm gonna be doing the backstory tier list maybe later this week. And yeah, so even for me, I don't know if it's more emotional than a lot of these moments that I got here right now. I'm honestly gonna put it at the bottom of amazing. And again, let me know if you think I'm bugging on that or whatever. And I might have to zoom this out in a second, but I will do that when I get there. Right now, I feel pretty good with where I got stuff. All right, we got Luffy, and this is Luffy. He's crying. So, is this him finding out that Ace is? Is this him finding out that Ace is up for execution? It might be. So, it is emotional in the moment, but is this a super memorable moment out of Luffy's crash out moments and memorable whatever moments? Not crazily, you know what I'm saying? So, once again, let me quick adjust this. Let me quick adjust this. So we can see a little bit more here. Might need to zoom out a little bit. Okay. And there we go. All right, let's keep going. So next up we got the, oh yeah, so where am I putting this? This is a super memorable moment to me, as crazy as that sounds. So I don't even know. I'm putting this in Now We're Talking, to be quite honest. So I think it's above the Usopp one. I think it's above Hero Luck too. I think it's above most of these, to be honest. Maybe I'm bugging and this should be in the tier above. But I'm gonna put it at the top of this one for now. All right, next up we got what's her name? Boa Hancock and her sisters and her slavery backstory with the Celestial Dragons. This is just effed up right here. Seeing the way that she was getting treated and whatnot. I don't think that this is a moment that the average One Piece fan thinks about all the time, but that might just be because people don't think about Boa Hancock all the time. But as far as like it evoking emotion, um, I'm gonna put it here above these flashback stories, but not quite above Luffy putting the team on his back or finding out about Ace or everything else above that. All right, next up we got Von Clay sacrificing himself so that Luffy and friends could get away and get to Marineford. This is a great moment right here. Man, this tier right here is the hardest one in my opinion to rank where things go. How high is this going? This is a great moment. I'm gonna put it right here for now, but I don't feel good about it at all. So I put it below Sanji saving the day for a split second, I guess, on the Arc Maxim in Skypiea and Nico Olvia, Nico Robin running up to Nico Olvia, and then her getting shot by Spandine. I don't think that this should be above that actually, or this one. I think this is honestly at the bottom of the tier, to be quite honest. It is an emotional moment, but is pretty much most of these other ones. There's some real serious stuff happening. Oh my god, yo! Just looking at this image hurts my heart, yo. Just looking at this image hurts my heart, yo. I'm gonna put I Want to Live below it, to be honest. Ah, R.I.P. Ace. R.I.P. You could just in the moment, if you're watching the anime, you just hear Luffy scream. In the manga, you just see the double page spread, and Akainu's just lurking. This is a crazy moment, bro. Yeah, this has got to be at the top for now. Oh man, and then followed up with another banger right here, with Whitebeard, Whitebeard at the end of the Marineford war arc, where he's just standing there like a crazy statue and he looks amazing. Man, where do I put this as far as these moments? This is one of the best moments in all of One Piece, so I feel like it has to be near the top here. Oh man. Okay, we're just gonna do that for now. This is the my god, what's her name? Didon. This is the oh, I can't say her name. This is Didon finding out about Ace. And it is an emotional moment, but you know, is this a moment that I think about in One Piece often? Not really. So I'm gonna put it just in the top of the bottom of Sol. Now we're talking. Oh, okay, we got Luffy. This is obviously encompassing I Want to Live, I believe. Yeah, yeah, okay. This is no, I Want to Live. I still have my crew. Excuse me. This is everything with Luffy going through the trauma with Ace, and then eventually coming out of that and remembering that he still has his crew at the end of the day. And honestly, I put this above I Want to Live. Am I putting it above the Whitebeard part? I don't think so, just because this moment is crazy iconic. But the art, and I have this part on the thumbnail, obviously, this one. This moment on the thumbnail. The art for the moment in the manga is just so amazing. One of my favorite panels that Oda's ever done. So yeah, I'm gonna have this one right here in Peak Fiction. We got, I think that this is this Kid Luffy when he's caught up by the whoever. Honestly, the ASL flashback, while is decent, is nothing too crazy to me. And this is a moment I think about a lot. They save him. That's cool. Next up we got Sabo. I didn't really feel anything too crazy about Sabo either when this happened. So this could go into solid as well. And Ace, this is Ace probably when he unlocks the Conqueror's Hockey. I probably put it below those two, to be quite honest. None of these are evoking some crazy emotion in me just by me looking at this picture. In fact, some people don't like Sabo coming back after this, so it is kind of what it is. When it comes to me personally, I like Sabo as a character, but him his ship getting blasted away didn't really move me anything too crazy, you know what I mean? Next up we got Fisher Tiger and him dying on the I guess this is kind of like everything encompassing Fisher Tiger, but him dying at the end of Fishman Island, this is an underrated moment in my opinion, but I don't think that it's quite in the amazing tier. Um I'm honestly gonna move it down a little bit, but I do think this is an underrated moment overall. We got what's the mermaid princess of the time, the mermaid queen, excuse me, Oda, and she's on her deathbed. She got shot while trying to save the celestial dragon, and it is a sad moment for her, but also fuck that guy. Even though she saved his life and he did return the favor in recent chapters, not recent, but in the Reverie by saving her daughter. But at the end of the day, this isn't a moment I really think about like that, and I'm gonna put it below Zoro and Kuina and him deciding that he wants to be the world's greatest swordsman because he yada yada yada. Next up, we got all the stuff that was going on with the children on Impel Down. You see that this was really sad. This is some sad and kind of messed up stuff, to be quite honest. So I'm gonna put it up here. I think this is kind of underrated for how it emotionally makes you feel when you're actually watching it in the moment. But When I really think about it, am I putting it Sanji's original backstory below this? Yeah, I think I am. As far as these emotional moments, I don't think it gives you the same level of emotion as the sheer adrenaline that you get out of Luffy, bringing Nami and Sanji up the mountain, or him finding out about Ace. So yeah, but I think that you need to go back and watch Impel Down if you have Impel Down. Punk Hazard if you haven't seen it in a while, and this motion, yeah, this moment makes you feel something. All right, next up we got I guess um on Zoe when they come together again. This isn't something I really think about very often. At least the solid tier is moments that are technically, emotional, but I don't really think about. So I think it's below Otohime, to be quite honest. I think it's below Otohime. But the ASL flashback, I really don't be thinking about none of this stuff. I can't lie. All right, we got Luffy finding out about Sabo. This is a pretty funny moment, but also him just being filled with all that emotion. It fills you with emotion more than Sabo even freaking dying, which is pretty funny. But I don't think it's more than the Dawn finding out about Ace per se. But I think that it can go up into this tier, the Now We're Talking tier. Let me think. Is this better than the end of Drum Island? I want to say yeah, to be honest. I think both of these are. Is it better than Usopp and Luffy getting to get back together at the end of the Enies Lobby saga? Probably. No, it's not. I think that's good where it's at. All right, we got what's my man's name? Law's not dad slash brother, whatever. We got Dofi's brother, and it's him sacrificing himself for Law, using his ability and silencing Law and his tears and all that stuff. Even though, when he actually died, his devil fruit probably should have wore off, and Dofi probably should have hurt him. But this could definitely go up into Now We're Talking. I don't know if it's quite in the amazing tier, but it's above a lot of stuff here. I think right around here is good. It's hard for me to put stuff above these two moments because I look at these two pictures and I get hype. Well, I get hype for this one, and you can just feel Luffy's feelings right here. You know what I'm saying? So next up we got, what is this? Is this Dressrosa? Okay, is this supposed to be Rebecca or something? This is just the toys in general. The people getting turned into toys, I'm assuming. Damn, this was messed up, yo. This was really messed up. I honestly think this could go up into amazing because it's really kind of, the more you think about it, the more kind of effed up it is for the people involved. So even though this might not be something that you honestly think of immediately when you think of emotional stuff with One Piece, if you go back and you rewatch that part, it's kind of, or you reread it, it's a messed up situation that they put these people in. Okay, we got Senior Pink. When it comes to the feels, this has to go pretty high up. I'm not putting it above these more iconic One Piece moments like Zoro, the Going Merry, and Alabasta. But as far as like just the hype moment and oh my god, Nico Olvia, Nico Robin, Belmare, I think that it could honestly go above them and be all the way up right below that iconic level. You know what I'm saying? We got God Usopp. And God Usopp is a very funny moment, you know what I'm saying? But as far as it evoking crazy emotion, I don't think it's above very many of the things on this list, to be honest. It's above Drum Island, but it's a funny moment, you know what I'm saying? More than it is like a moment that fills you with emotion, I would say. Okay, next up we got Sanji's second backstory. And this is really messed up, yo. So messed up. I'm gonna put it above the Drum Island. And I think I'm gonna put it above this one too. Is it good enough to get up into my amazing tier is the question. And I want to say, I honestly kind of want to say yes, but I'm gonna put it at the top of Now We're Talking right now for right now, and then at the end I'm gonna rearrange these if I need to. All right, next up we got Luffy waiting for. Why is Luffy versus Sanji not on here? Also, boy. All right, I'm gonna say this is Luffy versus Sanji, even though it should be a separate one for that. Man, they messed up with that. This is really the moment where Luffy waits for Sanji under the tree because and decides he's not. Well, he already decided he wasn't gonna eat anymore, but pretty much is putting that into fruition and is waiting for Sanji to come back. And Sanji comes with the basket of food, even though it's all disheveled and nasty from the rain, the storm that he walked through. But if I'm incorporating Luffy versus Sanji into this is peak fiction. Okay. Uh, Luffy versus Sanji is just a super high emotional level, not quite to the level of Luffy versus Usopp, but it does reach those emotional highs in my opinion, more so than everything else here almost. And I think that that's an iconic One Piece moment. If we're grading this just by itself, it would probably be in the amazing tier. But since they don't have a separate one for Luffy versus Sanji, I'm gonna put it right here into peak fiction, but at the bottom. All right, we got the moment that Sanji realizes that he was being played by Pudding the whole time. And just looking at this, you know what I'm saying? He got the tears rolling. This is a sad moment, yo. This really makes you feel the feels when this moment actually happens. And if you don't really remember it, go back and rewatch this scene in the Whole Cake Island arc, and I comment if you disagree with me at that point. So it's not gonna go past where Zoro says that he's never gonna lose again, but and I can't really put it above the Going Merry and above Alabasta, but man, when it comes to the actual feels, you are feeling in this moment. All right, next up we got what's this guy's name? I forgot off top. Starts with a P. His sacrifice at the end of the Whole Cake Island arc. You know what I'm saying? I don't really be thinking about him. I even forgot his name. So it's not gonna go very high. It's not going very high at all, to be honest. It's going below Chopper and his reindeer games. So yeah. Next up we got the emotional moments between, I think this is Ace and Tama. Ace and Tama, you know, this is solid, but I'm not putting it above some of these other early One Piece moments. It's not something I really think about that often. It's more so I'm like, oh yeah, Tama and Ace had a connection. Oh yeah, Yamato and Ace had a connection. You know, uh, is it better than Inu and Neko coming together again? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it where I got it. Below that, but above Luffy getting captured in the ASL flashback. All right, we got Yasue getting murked in Wano, and this is one of the emotional highs of the Wano arc. I think that it could probably be at the bottom of amazing. Let me think. What is it better than Sanji's second backstory? Is it better than Luffy finding out about Ace? Is it better than Luffy climbing the mountain? I want to say yeah, low key. I might move this one up, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, we got Queen Otohime. We got Queen. Damn, I can't remember her name right now. Lady Toki. There we go. We got Lady Toki's speech. Is this okay? Okay, yeah, this is before. I was about to say they better have Odin's actual thing on here. So this is just her speech. If it's just her speech, then you know it does add to the emotion of that part of the story. I don't think it's like an iconic moment or into that upper echelon tier. I think it's more than Deadon finding out about Ace, and maybe more than Sabo because it's mostly just a funny moment. But I'm gonna put it below Usopp and Luffy making amends at the end of Penny's Lobby. This one right here, one second. I can't really tell what this moment is looking at this. Not the best picture that this person used for this one. So I'm gonna put it, I guess I'm leaving it in bad. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of solid just because I'm not sure what this is. It kind of looks like it might be Nah, I just don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at the bottom of solid. All right, Odin was born to boil. This is a great One Piece moment right here. So the real question is, I think I can put it above a good bit here, to be quite honest. I think is it above Belmare? I think it might be. Olvia better than this one. I think I get more sad feels from the Sanji moment here, but as far as like overall emotion, you do feel for Odin in this moment. All the stuff that he went through. He technically really beat Kaido at the end of the day, but it's unfortunate. But this is low-key one of the better moments from the post time skip in general, to be quite honest. So, and with Yasue, I think I'm gonna put this above the the people turned into toys, but I think it's gonna go below Bon Clay right there. All right, we got Rogers moment in where he laughs in the Odin flashback, and honestly, is this moment better than Odin boiling in the pot of oil? Is this peak fiction right here? Is this peak fiction right here? Is it above? I'm saying yeah. Is it above Luffy versus Sanji? Is it above Nami getting the straw hat? I don't know. It's hard for me to put this moment above a lot of this other stuff because yeah, you're kind of like, well, I remember reading this in the manga weekly, and you were just on such an emotional high throughout the Odin flashback because it's your first time getting to see a glimpse of really the Roger crew and really the Whitebeard crew in their heyday or building up to their heyday, and it's really awesome to get that peek behind the curtain and all the time with One Piece that it's been building up until this point. You're finally getting that first real taste of the final saga and a lot of these things getting wrapped up in the story, and you get to him getting getting to where the One Piece is, and he just laughs, and you don't even know how to feel in that moment, but you're definitely feeling something in that moment. But there's a lot of iconic moments up here in this top tier, so it's kind of tough to see where exactly to place this. But it does have that feeling where you look at the picture and you're immediately brought back to that moment. Okay. So for right now, I'm going to put it there right above Luffy putting the straw hat on Nami, but I'm going to leave it below Luffy versus Usopp, and nothing happened. All right, we got Nami saying Luffy's going to be the Pirate King, basically putting her life to the side and letting Ulti just go Ulti smash on her forehead. This is one of the better moments in the Wano arc, but the Wano arc is also a very flawed arc. I think that I also need to move this down a little bit. I think it's a little too high for sure. I'm gonna move the kids on Punk Hazard down to about there. But let's see here. I think that Nami's little sacrifice moment, I guess, is better. I like it. Well, me personally, I like it more than Hero Luck. I like it more than Zeph. I like it a little bit more than. It's not that I like it more, but it evokes more emotion to me than Bo's backstory, and I can't remember his name. Law's not Pappy and Dofi's brother. Is it better than the moment that Luffy, not better than, but it might have evoked more emotion from this moment than Luffy bringing Sanji and Nami up the mountain? I'm going to say no. So I'm going to leave this right here. Next up, we got the Gear 5 moment. And man, when I was reading the story weekly, which I still am, obviously I'm reacting to it every week. Check out those live streams if you aren't. And yeah, this is a peak fiction moment right here. This is a moment that completely changed how everyone was looking at the One Piece story. I think that One Piece hadn't been more viral than this probably since Marineford, literally. And I wasn't even reading it weekly at that point. Maybe I was, but social media wasn't going ham with Marineford or anything like that. The question is this above Whitebeard and Ace dying? I'm gonna put it below Whitebeard, to be quite honest. But this is one of the craziest moments of One Piece. And in the moment when when you're watching the anime or you're reading the story, boy, this is a game changer right here. And you just don't. It's one of those you don't know how to feel, but you're still filled with all that emotion. All right, next up we got the only bad moment I'm putting on here. Wow, that's crazy. Which is oh, I can't remember her name. Hiyori at the end of is this Hiyori at the end of the arc where she's like going in on Orochi? If it's not that and it's where she kills Orochi, that's not that bad, you know what I'm saying? But if it's I think this is the speech though. The speech I didn't like really. I felt like it messed up kind of in it might have been a translation thing also, but it messed up like what the point of the Orochi character was gonna be, I felt like. So I'm gonna put it in bad. Next up, it's us finding out about the new four emperors. This was a badass moment, yo. This is a badass moment. I think I'm putting wait, I'm grabbing the wrong one here. I think I'm putting it pretty high, to be quite honest. It's not peak fiction, but I love this moment so much. And just looking at this, it gives you that feeling of when you were reading it again. So this might be too high for it, but I'll re-rank them at the end for here. All right, we got Buggy. Now we're getting into some more of the manga stuff. All right, before I get here, for whatever reason, we got like a random. Uh-oh, what's going on here? 1 second. There we go. We got a random Marine Ford here that I want to get this out of the way. This is when the Buddha, the good Buddha himself, put Garp's head in the pavement when the Garp was about to kill Akainu for killing Ace. This is a dope ass moment right here, yo. And it does fill you with emotion, but it's not. Is it more emotion? Because it's emotion at the end of the day. I feel like if it's also incorporating Garp's feelings and the aftermath of everything that happened with Akainu and Ace, then I could bump it up a little bit higher. But if it's just the moment of Sengoku stuffing Garp's face in the ground, I can't put it way above a lot of stuff here. Let's see. I think it's above these early flashbacks. I think it's above Bo's flashback, but I think I'm gonna put it below Law's Not Daddy / Dofi's brother. Corazon. There it is. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name, bro. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. All right. Now let's talk about this Buggy moment where Buggy says that he wants to be the Pirate King. And I think this is an underrated moment, yo. Is even better than finding out he was one of the emperors. I put it above the Go and Marry, and I put it above this. Am I putting it above Zoro? I think that Zoro's moment has had more time to be iconic than this Buggy moment. But I think that if this Buggy moment isn't seen as iconic when we look back on the story, then that's like a miss for the person that's analyzing the story. Because this is really an emotional peak for this character and a shift in the fact that we're really getting into the final section of the story at this point. All right, last but not least we got, I think is this Bonnie crying, I think, after she comes out. Is this after the flashback, I guess? Let me look real quick. All right, if this is incorporating everything going on with Bonnie in the Egghead Island arc, this is pretty good, but I'm not gonna put it above a lot of these other Straw Hat ones that I like. Man. Okay, I think that right here is good. So let's go back through these real quick. I think that, yeah, I think I'm fine leaving Ace's death at the top of emotional moments here. Whitebeard at the end of Marineford, Gear 5, Luffy remembering that he has the rest of his crew, I Want to Live, Shanks sacrificing his arm, nothing happened, Usopp versus Luffy. I'm pretty happy with the peak fiction tier. My only question really here is, I think I'm gonna move this up and just put Zoro at the bottom of this tier right there. To be honest, obviously this is Luffy giving Nami his straw hat, and this represents Luffy versus Sanji right here. Yeah, I think Zoro declaring he's never gonna lose again to the future Pirate King and Luffy should be in peak fiction, because this is one of those moments that you just keep thinking about when you think of One Piece as a story. We got Buggy saying that he wants to be the Pirate King. I feel like maybe I'm gassing a little bit, and this is just a little bit too high. So I'm gonna put it below the Going Merry and Alabasta. And as far as the new Four Emperors reveal, I think it can go below Odin was born to boil and Sanji finding out the truth about pudding, because this scene is pure feels, yo. Again, if you don't remember this scene, you need to go back and watch this one section of the Whole Cake Island arc. I'm gonna put it below Senior Pink too, but I'm gonna leave it above Sanji getting zapped by Nell, but having this dope ass cool moment. And Nico Olvia, I think Nico Olvia moment isn't as memorable as this one, but it does evoke more feels. Nah, I'm gonna leave it right there. I think I'm gonna put Belmare above this Nico Olvia one, and I'm gonna put Frankie right below it, Bonnie right below that, Brooke right below that, Bon Clay. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. We got Yasue and the people getting turned into the toys on Dressrosa. We got Sanji's second backstory. Luffy finding out about Ace, his execution. Luffy putting Nami and Sanji and bringing them up the mountain. Nami saying Luffy will be Pirate King. We got Corazon sacrifice for Law. Sengoku putting Garp's face in the dirt. Bo's backstory. Sanji's second backstory, or first backstory, I should say. Hero Look getting the mushroom from Chopper. Fisher Tiger. We got. I think I'm okay with the rest of this, to be quite honest. We got Luffy and Usopp reconciling. Should this go higher? Is the other question I have here. I think it's fine there, but I think I can put it above Fisher Tiger. And I think I could put it above Hero Luck as well. And honestly, I could put it above Sanji's first backstory. But I think that's good right there. Kagura and Noland, I'm gonna put it below Usopp, but above Sabo. And I think the rest of this I'm perfectly. So yeah, that's the One Piece feels tier list. Give the video a like if you made it to this point, because you rock with your boy. And subscribe. More streams coming on the way. Doing the backstories tier list later this week. And peace out.